Hell going on, everybody?
Hell going on, good people. If you're reading the title, if you read the title, y'all really won't believe what happened to us, but like, it's wild, bro. Like, I don't even know where to start for real. But better yet, yes we do, because it was certain information that we were withholding from y'all that we're not gonna continue to withhold. But man, let's just say we wasn't stalling y'all for nothing. Like, this video was supposed to be dropped yesterday, and it's a very good reason why it wasn't, which we gonna get into this video. So before we really just deep dive into it, get your popcorn ready, get your snacks. I don't know how long this video is at the moment of me talking, but I'm pretty sure it's probably not under 20 minutes. So get you a little something quick to snack on and enjoy the storytelling. I'm gonna put it like that. Alright? Okay. So first thing we're gonna get into is, what company did we end up going with?
We end up going with Expo.
E. It ain't an E in Expo.
Ain't no E.
X-P-O. It's an E if you actually like spell Expo itself, but the company is not an E, it's just XPO.
XPO.
So we end up going with XPO, man. For those who don't know, I'm not 100% sure. I'm just like all the facts and how good the company is, this, that, and the third. But one thing I do know is that XPO is one of the top paying trucking companies in the industry. I know that for a fact. Via research, via word of mouth. I know that for a fact. Now I can't just say for a fact like what numbers they are. As far as, you know, where they fall in the industry. Somebody told me that they was top 5. Again, I can't confirm it, but I do know they are definitely like top tier. I know you got stuff like obviously Walmart, R&L Carriers, XPO. What's I know that's like 3 off top of my head that I know pay good. I know Baylor Trucking, but they are like they prioritize teams. So they like a big team company, whereas the other companies I just named, they do like local teams, regional. They have different what I'm trying to say, bro. I'm stumbling over my words because of what I'm finna tell y'all later on in the video. That's why I'm stumbling over my words. But yeah, they got different aspects to the company. That's what I was trying to say. They got different aspects to it. But anyway, that's the company we end up going with. XPO, man. We are very, 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 very excited, very happy, because we originally was referred to this company back in October.
It was October.
A while ago.
It was a good minute to come.
It's March, finna be April.
Finna be April. It's late March.
Yeah, so we have been thugging it out at FFE for that long. Since October. Like, we was already mentally out the door in October, but we were just thugging it out. Trying to give, because they went on the hiring freeze. XPO had a hiring freeze. We told y'all that. We didn't tell y'all who the company was, but we told y'all the company we wanted to go with had a hiring freeze. XPO had a hiring freeze. It started right at November. Like, literally, as soon after we was referred, they went into a hiring freeze. Yeah. So it started like November the 1st, and it was supposed to end in December. No, it was supposed to end in January. It was supposed to end in January, then it was supposed to end in February, and then it did end up ending in March, which where we are now. So we waited patiently for this job opportunity, and we finally got it. So now we're gonna go into depth about how the interview process go. We gotta tell them about the interview process. We ain't even tell them.
That's still a little T2.
You think so?
I'll put my little 2 cents in. You go ahead.
I don't think so. The interview process to me went smooth.
Before we even got to the interview, babe, they didn't even know we had an interview.
Oh man,
that's T. I don't know what you talking about.
Man,
I ain't nitpicking. I'm just saying that's still like before we even got to the interview. That's something that happened.
I mean, yeah, but
tell the truth, baby. It
no,
set you free.
I'm girl, please. I don't know. I just didn't look at it because it didn't stop nothing.
No, it didn't.
That had been different if it was to the point where they didn't know we had an interview and they're like, "Can y'all come back another day?" or something like that. Okay, now it's like, bro, really, for real. But you know, we all human, so schedule probably got mixed up, miscommunication. Ain't no telling, so I just didn't really, really think much of it. But outside of that though, what you think?
Of course.
Yeah, everything went smooth. Smooth interview process. We told y'all we indeed had to do a full pre-trip. Yes, we had to go in depth with the pre-trip. We left out all the terminology, the proper amount of security, the crack bent broken, all that mess that you would say about each individual part and so on and so forth. We were able to leave out all of that, but as far as going through that truck with a fine-tooth comb, making sure that you're knowledgeable about what's going on, you had to do that.
Had to.
You had to do that. So pointing out every single thing, that was by far tedious and the most worrisome. Like that's the part we was worried about.
Yeah.
Everything else we not road test.
Come on now.
Nah, no one worried about no road test.
Come on now.
Speaking of road test, went absolutely smooth. Like my road test was so smooth. I don't even think the guy that was testing me felt like he was testing somebody. Like that's just how smooth it was. We held a conversation throughout the whole way.
That's true.
Obviously, he was giving me directions and stuff like that, and we did drive separately. By the way,
we did everything.
Everything was separate. So even though it was a team position, the interview process itself, like asking and answering questions, we did that together because that was the process to see like how we work as a team. You know, things we've overcome, obstacles we've overcome as a team, stuff we've experienced, that type of stuff. So we did answer those together, but the pre-trip, the road test, the rest of it, all the physical stuff, that was done separate. Yeah. But yeah, man, it was
smooth though.
Smooth.
It was smooth.
And then I went before Babe, and I went like, I want to say right after lunchtime, so it was like 1 o'clock somewhere. Well, technically that still is lunchtime. So I stayed like in the middle of lunchtime. So it was like 1 o'clock somewhere in there, 1:30. Baby went after me. She ended up going like a little later, like 2:30, a little closer to 3, wasn't it?
If yours took an hour and a half, what time you said you started?
I think I was finished around by like 1:30, 1:45.
Yeah. And I went directly after him. As soon as he walked in the door, I walked out the door. So.
But what I'm getting at is, I had less traffic than Bay had.
I ain't had no traffic.
You said it was starting to pick up?
It was starting to pick up as far as like cars on the road, but it wasn't traffic. I wasn't stuck in no traffic.
It barely was cars on the road when I went.
It was cars on the road.
Like I was open lanes, easy maneuvering, easy lane changes.
My experience, oh no, it was not easy. Even my trainer was like, I'm not training my the person who was testing me, he was like, I don't know what they got going on, why they doing this. People was pulling in front of me. Like I would not say about 5 people did. I ain't even exaggerating. Like 5 people pulled in front of me, jumped in front of me, stopped on brakes. He was like, I'm so glad that you are paying attention and getting this. Bro, it was crazy. Yeah. It was crazy.
I ain't experienced none of that.
I had all of that.
I ain't experienced none of that whatsoever. But the overall interview process, the road test, everything went smooth. So as far as did we get the job? Yeah.
Yeah, we got it.
We got the job.
Bravo!
Thank you. We got the job, man. We did. Now that that's out the way.
That was the easy part.
That's the easy part. That's the part y'all can believe. Let's get into the nitty gritty of what the hell, cause hell ain't that much of a bad word. YouTube, look, YouTube not gonna like strike it or nothing like that, cause the F word, you can't drop the F bomb. Them hard ones. Yeah. But real talk, if y'all remember at the end of our last video, we was telling y'all we need to talk DPS. Well, this part of y'all ain't gonna believe. So let's start from the beginning. Alright? That's why I say get your popcorn ready now. Get your snacks, whatever you need. Cause we finna go on the story time. Storytelling. Alright? Let's start from the beginning. So boom. Back January 29th, 2025. Matter of fact, actually it was January 26th, 2025 when we went to DPS to get the endorsements. The fingerprinting stuff was 29th.
Fingerprint was 29th.
So really starting January 26, 2025, which y'all know because it's documented, we went to DPS to get our endorsements. We got doubles, triples, tankers, and hazmat. We took all 3 tests one day. Y'all both know me and Bay passed, flying colors, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. All right, cool. Do all that, pay the money. For those who don't know, getting endorsements not cheap, especially not hazmat. It's $250 simply for hazmat. Well, really $200 simply for hazmat, because the other 50 goes into doubles, triple, tankers, and actually getting a new license itself. But $200 just for hazmat, because you gotta pay for the entry level driving course, and then you gotta pay for fingerprint for your background check and all that, right? We finna get into that. All right. Did that 26. Went through that whole process. Excuse me. 3 days later, we go to Identico in Carrollton to get fingerprinted for the background check. Go there, everything goes smooth, you know, no complaints. Everything was straightforward. And we got that taken care of. So at this point, we thinking
we good.
It's just a waiting game.
It's a waiting game.
It's just a waiting game.
It's a waiting game, alright.
Oh, facts. So, everything from the fingerprint, mind you, January 29th, that's when we initially did the fingerprint. Everything as far as fingerprinting go, that whole process was completely done February 5th. Now, mind you, we didn't leave FFE to February 26th. That's the day we got back home. That was the last day we was on the road. Well, February 25th, because we got home a day early. I remember that.
Yeah.
So, mind you, we thinking, cool. Everything about done. By the time the background check itself really come back, Expo been to lift a hiring free.
Now,
everything lining up the way it's supposed to.
Let me ask you this. What is the time frame that a background check is supposed to take? Just typically. What's the number? What's the number?
Typically, if you look on the website, it say 30 to 45 days.
Okay. Just keep that in mind.
Keep that in mind. 30 to 45 days. That's the time frame. Now they do typically they do tell you that it's possible that it could take up to 90 days. But again, typically it's 30 to 45 days. Mind you, it is March 24th. Or is it the 5th? 24th?
No, 25th. My dad's birthday.
March 25th today. Whole fingerprint process was done February the 5th. You do the math now. Obviously, quick math, that's over a month. So that's 30 days. 15 more days from the 5th is the 20th. That's over 45 days. We really at 50 days now.
Yeah, 50 days.
All right. Again, it's possible it could take 90 days. Okay. That's one thing. Here's the kicker. Going back to Expo. I told y'all we got the job. Technically. However, hazmat hasn't been added to our license yet.
Okay.
Alright. If y'all remember when we first got back home, I don't know if I told y'all this or not, but when we first got back home, I went to DPS like March 5th, something like that, to get hazmat added on our license. And they told me it's just a waiting game. Hazmat won't be actually added onto your license. It'll just be processed through the system. And anytime somebody run your license, they'll be able to see that you got the hazmat endorsement. Okay, I don't know no better.
We don't know.
I can't do nothing but go off what they tell me. Right? Cool. So she told me at that particular time, well, as of right now, it's still being processed. We haven't heard anything back from the feds. Federal. TSA. Alright? Okay, cool. Still a waiting game. This is before Expo call. So finally get the call from Expo. Boom, bam. Go through the interview process, everything we just told y'all. And I ain't gonna say his name. Great guy. He been helping us. He's the one that gave us our interview. Yep. Our phone screening, I should say. And I think he's the one that finalized everything. He extends the job offer to us and everything like that. So as he was running our license and everything, he says that hazmat not on y'all license. which we aware of.
We know.
Right, we aware of. We showed him the proof that everything being processed, this, that, and the third. He said, well, okay, well, I'll tell you what, I just dig a little deeper and, you know, make sure everything going the way it's supposed to be going. And once everything do finalize, then we gonna get y'all rolling. Perfect. That's what we want. That's what we've been waiting for. I told y'all I'm ready to get back to work, baby. I'm ready to go back to work. Okay. Call me the next day. Hey, man, I got some bad news. I was checking up on y'all hazmats and it's no information on y'all in the federal database.
How?
What? I'm on what? He like, yeah, you sure y'all did the hazmat application? Y'all did the fingerprint and everything? I said, I got receipts. I got confirmation. I got that the process has been successfully, the enrollment process has been successful. We got all that.
All that.
So, yeah, we paid the money. Yes, we got fingerprinted. And the fingerprinting was processed. So what's the issue?
What you mean?
What's the problem? Right? So, again, this guy at Expo that's taking care of us, greatly appreciate you.
Yes.
He do his due diligence. He get back with me. He catch me up on some stuff. So, he tell me I should call the fingerprint place. He gives me a number. This particular number with the fingerprint, with the fingerprinting place works alongside with TSA directly. So it's no middleman, right? And then from the fingerprint place, they give me DPS headquarters number, Texas, right? All right, now before I go deeper than that, I use this number that he gave me to call the TSA people, well, the fingerprint people that work with TSA, to figure out like, hey man, what's the problem? Mind you, we've already been to DPS now. We already been to DPS. When I went to DPS back March 5th, and I skipped that part, I'm sorry. After he first told us that there was nothing in the federal database with our information, we went to DPS yesterday, the 24th. We went to DPS yesterday to ask them like what's going on. They tell us we haven't heard anything back from the feds. TSA, federal. I'm just gonna keep saying feds for short, all right? We haven't heard anything back from them. So they putting it off as if like we just waiting on the federal, the feds, right? It's nothing to do with DPS, nothing to do with fingerprinting. We waiting on the feds. Okay, cool. Talk back to this guy today. That's when he gave me the number and stuff. Again, we back up to date. I called his number, talked to the fingerprint people that work directly with TSA, and he breaks it down to me so crucial to the point where it can't be nothing but the truth. Regardless of what DPS telling me, right? So I'm gonna run y'all through it like this here. How my day went. Cause all this happened today. That's why this video just now coming out, because we just got enough information thoroughly and detailed to the point we felt like it was good to really catch y'all up on everything at once. All right. So boom. I call these people. They try to see if they can find us in their database. They cannot. They have received the fingerprint. Meaning, where we went and got fingerprinted, they did their job. They did their part. They took our fingerprint, we paid, they sent it off. TSA got that, okay? But they don't have a hazmat application. Mind you, the hazmat application is done before the fingerprint, right? Now, before I go any deeper, let me break this down so y'all can understand clearly. When it comes to hazmat applications from state to state, not every state is different, but it's a handful that is different. So you have participating states and non-participating states when it comes to the hazmat application and how they work with TSA. So let's put this into perspective, break it down for you. Participating states, let's just say Mississippi for example. During this process, you go to DPS, take the test, you apply, you fill out the hazmat application, then you go to wherever you go to get fingerprinted in Mississippi, whatever case may be. I think it's all the same, so we're just gonna say Identigo. Then you go to Identigo to get fingerprinted. Then from there, Identico sends the fingerprint hazmat application. They take care of everything. Everything as a whole, they take care of. Typically, they tell you it only take 2 weeks. They send it off to the feds. Feds do a full background check. Obviously, if you clean, it don't take that long. So it's a 2-week process, right? That's participating states. We live in the beautiful state of Texas.
Good old Texas.
Where everything gets bigger and better,
right.
Apparently, right? Texas is a non-participating state. Meaning, that process I just broke down is a little different. So, for Texas and a few other states, New York, Pennsylvania, just to name a couple, in these particular non-participating states, you go to DPS, you go get fingerprinted. Instead of the fingerprinting company sending it directly to TSA like they will with participating states, they have to send it back to DPS. Why? No logical reason, but they do, because this is a non-participating state. Apparently it's cheaper. That's why these states opt out of it, because it's cheaper, so to say. But it also complicates the process. So as they send it back to DPS, DPS then receive the fingerprints and then have to send the hazmat application to TSA, the feds, for the background check, right? That's where we supposed to be at. That's the process we supposed to be waiting on. We supposed to obviously did the first part, application, did the second part, fingerprint. We went back to DPS. Again, remember earlier in the video I told you I went back to DPS March 5th thinking I'm just finna add it on my license because it had been time, right? Again, this was in January. I'm going early March, typically 30, 35 days, okay? 30, 45 days, okay? I'm just gonna go check, see if we can get it taken care of, right? They tell me they're waiting on the feds. When in all reality, we still waiting on DPS. So DPS, if I didn't finish breaking down that process, DPS, fingerprint, back to DPS, then DPS sends it off to TSA. The part we thinking that we on. We still at the DPS part. They haven't sent off our hazmat application. After all this time, once they receive that information from February the 5th that the fingerprint was processed, they supposed to automatically send it off to TSA. The fingerprint, the hazmat application, all that, so it can go ahead and get processed, taken care of, right? This is where it comes into the point where I use the number that I got from TSA to call DPS headquarters. Now the TSA guy gave me a disclaimer. He told me, he was like, regardless of what DPS tell you, because they gonna give you the runaround. They gonna tell you whatever they need to tell you to get you off the phone or get you out their face, whether you in person, on the phone, whatever the case may be, they're gonna tell you whatever they need to tell you to, end the conversation. He told me, he said, regardless of what they tell you, they have not done their part. Okay? This is not nothing to do with the fingerprinting. This is nothing to do with the background check of TSA. Y'all are waiting on DPS because y'all not even in the federal database. The feds don't even know who y'all are. So that's, again, that you can't be waiting on them if they don't even know who y'all are.
That's insane.
Which is crazy because you pay all that money and all this time has passed that we thinking that
we making progress. We thinking we making progress. Ain't nothing. We at a standstill and don't even know it. Don't even know it because you don't have no way of checking up on it. Again, keep in mind, I went to DPS. March 5th, we went again yesterday and was told the exact same thing. Now, I will say, yesterday we went to DPS, a guy that was helping us, one of his first questions that he asked the woman that was helping us, because he was called over as extra assistant, is that, did Fort Worth send it over? Because y'all know we went to Fort Worth to get our endorsement. Did Fort Worth send the information over? That was the first question he asked. For that to be his first question, you
so
already know what's up.
This tells you that it happens more times than not.
Exactly.
Right? Okay. So we like, hold on, so if it ain't even been sent over yet, that means the background check process hasn't even started. So 60 days of us waiting, thinking that we just waiting on background check, baby, it ain't even started. Bro, that's crazy. Like, how do you, I was gaslit. So when I talk to the number again, going back a little bit, because it's a lot, y'all. So excuse me if you probably getting a little confused.
It is a bunch of confusion, though.
It is a bunch of confusion. It really is, because we were just giving the runaround.
Yeah.
When I was talking to the person on the phone, DPS headquarters, I was gaslit and told that, well, did you go back up to DPS and tell them to send it off?
You didn't even sound right.
I'm like, I said, huh? She said, yeah, you're supposed to go back to DPS and tell them to send off everything. After you get your fingerprint process, everything done, you're supposed to go back and tell them to send it off. I'm like, that's not what I was told. She was like, well, I don't know where that miscommunication was at. I don't know why they didn't tell y'all that, but that's what should have been done. So I'm like, but I recently went back to DPS. If that was the case, and I go to DPS inquiring about it, shouldn't it be automatic? Like, I'm mentioning this, I'm thinking it's sent off, and it hasn't been sent off yet, but yet what I'm being told is that y'all waiting on the feds when y'all haven't even sent off the information yet? Like, man, make it make sense. Why would I have to, again, even if that was the case, we went back up to DPS, man, and it still wasn't done. So, but anyway, why do I have, first of all, after studying and taking the test, paying for the test, paying for the background check and the fingerprint, don't you think it's common sense, or it should be automatic once everything is processed to automatically send it off?
Like, ain't that your job?
We're not spending this money just to let it sit there. Like, bro, make it make sense. You can't. You can't. You can't. So at the moment, we've been screwed by DPS. We've been absolutely screwed by DPS, which is baffling, blasphemy. That's what it is. This whole time we think everything been processed, like Bay said, we've been thinking we making progress. We have not. Nothing. They have not sent off the hazmat application. Now, on the bright side, going back to Expo, because you probably think, well, if y'all don't have hazmat, how can y'all work at Expo? Again, the gentleman that we working with, very, very helpful. The offer lasts up to 90 days. So we have 90 days to get everything taken care of and then still be able to have a job. Okay, that's good. That's good news. It's kind of settling. This was before we find out that the process hadn't even started yet. This is us still thinking that we just waiting on the feds. Okay, find out that the process hasn't even started. We check with him, communicate with him, let him know what's going on. He can't believe it himself. And I mean, same thing, right? So offer still lasts 90 days and no harm, no foul there. He said just try to do everything y'all possibly can to get it taken care of. And
we are.
As soon as everything's taken care of, we're gonna get y'all started, which we are more than ready to start. More good news is that I talked to TSA. I got an unknown phone call, which is wild. When they called me, it said unknown. I literally,
surprisingly, you answered it.
I wasn't even finna answer. I wasn't even finna answer the phone because it say unknown. I'm like, I'm not finna answer
You
it.
answer stuff like that.
Unknown?
Scam.
Some just told me to answer. I answered the phone and it was TSA directly. Not the fingerprint place that work with TSA, no. TSA direct. That's probably why I said unknown, because it's federal.
Yeah.
So she asked me questions regarding our hazmat application, our hazmat process, what's been going on. I catch up on everything I just told y'all about how we did this way back in January, how we've been waiting, which she could see in the system herself, because she said, hey, I see y'all fingerprint information, but we don't have the hazmat application. And she then said, once again, that the fingerprint place said, we waiting for DPS. They haven't sent y'all hazmat application over. We cannot do anything further without the hazmat application. So she said, y'all are just at the mercy of DPS. So what she did for me, she gave me another number, DPS hazmat unit. So I'm gonna call that number. I haven't yet. I meant to call before starting this video, but it's still great news, because what was said is that obviously they see the process has been well prolonged and there's no need for it to be prolonged anymore. So she said that she's going to send out an email to DPS and request our hazmat applications from them. So normally where DPS would just automatically send it, they don't have to request, they just send it and then they take care of business. They are going to request it from them, like, hey, we waiting on these two, husband and wife, hazmat application, we haven't received it. And their stuff has been processed successfully since February the 5th. Right? Great news. Even better news. She told me once they receive the hazmat application that she will expedite it.
And that's what I was hoping for. We was just talking about that before before she called. I feel like personally that's their fault. That's not our fault. We did our job. We did paid. We did took the test. We did passed the test. We did the interview. We did everything. We're waiting on y'all. That was y'all messed up. So I feel like that was God helping us out with that one. I literally said that should be expedited.
It definitely should.
When he answered that phone call, that's what she said she was gonna do. So
yep.
Great.
So she's gonna escalate the process. So I didn't get the exact timeline how long it would take. She did say something. I'm not gonna hold her to that, but she did say something to the point where hopefully they can get a process same day. Again, I don't know if she meant like the whole overall process, or as soon as they get the hazmat application that they'll go get started immediately. But it will be expedited. So obviously we won't have to worry about no 90 days. Another 90 days.
Yeah.
Cause keep in mind we already waited 60.
I said we at 60.
Yeah. So another 90, cause that's what we were worried about. We was like, so the background check process ain't even started. You telling me it's a possibility that we still gotta wait another 90 days? And 90 days might not say that long, but let's say 3 months. 3 months.
3 months.
Without work. Come on now. Luckily we good with money and we saved, but that's money we don't want to touch, you feel me? But if we need to, it's there. But
we ain't trying to touch it.
We ain't trying to touch it. But good news is that they're going to expedite it whenever they do finally get the hazmat application. So right now, at this current moment, we are, words of the TSA woman, again, thank you too, we are at the mercy of DPS. Nothing else can be done further until DPS sends off the hazmat application. Ain't that wild?
That's crazy.
But it's crazy to think about. All this time that passed, all that money been paid, and y'all didn't do something as simple as submitting the hazmat application.
That's insane. Just think about it. Just like, what did you do? Like, what do you do for your job? Clearly you're not doing your job.
What y'all doing with the application and the money?
Now that's the question.
Like, come on, man. I understand. I wouldn't understand, actually.
Right.
I'll put it like this here. It'd be a little different if this was a free process. But no, you pay real money on for this. Good money too. This ain't $10, $15, $20. And then we talking about a couple hundreds. So it's like, what? Bruh, I just couldn't believe it. All because DPS want to play a middleman. Had Texas been a participating state and TSA handled everything, this would have been done by probably mid-February.
We wouldn't be in this situation. We wouldn't be talking to y'all right now.
We wouldn't be having this conversation. But because DPS want to play a middleman, it prolongs and complicates the situation.
Not them being cheap.
For no reason. And the TSA woman, she said it happens more times than not. Like it happens often. So I'm just glad they willing to work with us. Yeah. They willing to expedite our application to get everything taken care of on our background, because it is much needed. Because even though we do have this job offer for Expo, yes, it lasts 90 days. Obviously, we know that if that 90-day process was to come, it's not a guarantee anymore. Like right now, if everything was taken care of, we guaranteed have a job with XPO. 100% guaranteed. But worst case scenario, these 90 days pass and it's still not taken care of, we don't have a guarantee no more.
We're not speaking that into existence. We're not even thinking that our stuff
we not.
Taken care of.
I'm just speaking. before we found out that it was gonna be expedited. Okay. Yeah, I'm talking about before we found out it was gonna be expedited. So that's what I'm talking about. So that's why we so happy that it's gonna be expedited. But that's what we've been going through, man. Can y'all believe that? Like, for real, like, just sit back and think about everything I just said. I know it's a lot.
It's a lot to process.
Because it was a lot for us to process.
Especially because this is our first time ever doing this or having our harassment. So we can't even say having our harassment because clearly in the system we ain't there, but you know what I mean.
Going through this process in general, man. Yeah. And for them to tell us that we supposed to go back up to DPS and tell them to submit it.
That's crazy.
Bro, come on, man.
Is that our job?
Mind you, we've been to DPS. We've been to DPS and checked up on it 2 separate occasions, and it's still not submitted. So, like, bro, what? Make it make sense. You can't.
You can't.
You can't.
You gotta add that to the end, because you can't.
You can't.
Insane, man.
That's wild. So that's what we dealing with at the moment, man. That's the huge overall big update. I know this video long. It's definitely over 30 minutes at this point. But I told y'all, grab your popcorn, grab something to eat.
Because it takes that long to just explain the process of what was going on.
Exactly. And I tried my best not to repeat myself. But it was a lot of stuff that I know I probably still skipped over small bits and pieces here. But as you can tell, it is a lot to explain. Because it's just so baffling and confusing to the point, like... confusing. How do you mess this up? Especially when it comes to CDL drivers, like our license is our job. We can't work if we don't have our license. Like, come on, man. So, I mean, that's where we at. Bad news, we still waiting on DPS to do their part. Good news, everything goes as planned, which we praying to open. Got the job with Expo. Process will be expedited. So everything's still looking bright. We still staying positive. In the meantime, your boy probably finna get a part-time job though. Because yeah, man. We don't want to dig into what we have set to the side. We have other plans for that, and we're not planning on digging into that. So that part, and personal accounts, I like to see a certain number in there. And that number is starting to dwindle away. Then we got upcoming events, which we're not going to speak on yet. Facts. But we got some upcoming events that we're supposed to be saving for. So. Updates to vacation vlogs. Yes. Like, we got stuff we still need to pay for. Facts. So, yeah. Your boy finna get a part-time job. Not because I need to at the moment, but just worst case scenario. It's dwindling down. Just worst case scenario. I'd rather just go and start looking down that way. If it is worst case scenario, I should be working by then. Versus me waiting, realizing, oh, this worst case scenario. Then start looking for a job. Now it's like, oh man. But yeah, man, it's wild. It's baffling. It's crazy. Yes, DPS is a mess. Yes. Facts. Anything you want to add, baby? Man, we just talked y'all head off. I know y'all like, dang, what's going on? So I ain't got nothing to say. Man, hey. I'm just about to have a rough day dealing with this. It's been crazy. And then I'm the one that do all the talking, so it's just like, bruh, I'm tired of talking to you folks. I'm tired of calling people. I'm tired of repeating myself. And then I'm doing it for 2 people because I'm checking for me and wife. It ain't no point in me calling and just checking for me, then wife having to call her own and then check for her. That don't make sense. So it's a lot. But, however, any new viewers, hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you return. You will. You heard, wife. To our current subs, our new subs, people that need subs, they watch every video. Special thanks to all of you for tuning in to yet another legendary video, baby. Anybody that watched the video all to the end, bow. Bing bong, bing bing, pang pang, pow, man. Real MVPs, bro. Pay the piper. If you really did watch the video all to the end, greatly appreciate y'all, because again, we know this is just a whole lot of rambling, even though it really wasn't rambling. It was purpose. It was a whole lot of talking. Whole lot of talking. But as y'all see what we going through, explain to the fullest. Like, that is the complete update. Nothing missed out. Not stalling y'all anymore. It's no withheld information. That's the complete update. So appreciate y'all for watching all the way to the end. Know the game. Hit that bell icon so you Yes, you, fam bam, get notified every time we upload.
But you already know, babes, it's every 3 days.
With an asterisk.
Yes, indeed.
Because we still don't know what's going on.
Period. At all.
And we don't want to sit here and commit to a schedule when we can't uphold said schedule.
Yeah.
So, hit that bell icon, baby. Because you know the video, they coming.
They coming.
They coming.
We ain't stopping.
No. Never. So, just hit that bell icon. Just keep your eyes peeled. Stay on the lookout.
And I know y'all gonna leave a comment down below because I know y'all got questions.
I know y'all got questions.
Leave the
and I know
comments down
some of
below.
y'all just as baffled as we is. Because ain't no way.
Yeah, for real. Your hand warm. I'm cold. Yeah, I'm freezing.
I'm hot blooded.
Anyway, make sure you guys like this video up and leave a comment down below and let us know how you like the video. And until then, babe.
We'll catch y'all in the next one, man.
Peace.
Doses.
Hola.